Humans usually have more energy and free time between childhood and adolescence, and then as we get older, the level of energy and amount of leisure time also begins to decrease. In general, playing games can be a very difficult hobby. This includes how much you will have to pay for games and the time you will have to devote to playing them, and even the mental energy spent playing games in your spare time. Modern AAA games nowadays seem to be obsessed with how long their gameplay lasts. While it's important to convey information to customers to help them make more informed decisions about buying a game, it's also important to understand that getting bigger doesn't always make a game better. Most well-known publishers are obsessed with showing too much time in their game trailers and putting important points in their Steam page descriptions as if this is a shining sign of their high quality standards. It's not a bad idea to make games with a long duration, but developers often resort all sort of tricks to artificially make games look bigger than they are. For example, the experience of Dying Light 2 Stay Human title may take 500 hours, but that's only if you complete all the parts of the game, many of which are boring and repetitive. Many modern open world games may offer gameplay beyond 100 hours, but the question is how much of that time will advance the story and not remove the side content to access tiered content. Starfield may have more than 1000 planets to explore, but how many of these planets actually have anything worthwhile to explore? This experience can be justified by arguing that the side content is optional, or even necessarily that the design of this method is poor. But the problem has become bigger and has spread to the fictional content of modern single-player games. A game like Just Cause 4 has a story section that takes between 20 and 25 hours to complete, but the important missions that move the story forward make up at most half of the experience, and the other side activities only revolve around the open world of the work. Of course, the equally important for developers to know if the games and the mechanics in them are capable of supporting for an extended period of time while respecting the time consumers spend on the experience. Consider a title like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which has a very simple combat system. The combat system of this work involves swinging the sword at the enemies in frantic way, and the story part shows the psychological problems and anxiety. These features work well together due to the game's shortness. It also doesn't let the player get bored with a set of mechanics and takes advantage of its story to get you to keep playing until the end. And that's why a title like Max Payne 3 is highly respected to this day, as it's fully offered the existing gameplay mechanics without overusing them so that players don't get bored of these mechanics. It's important to understand that the essence of any good game is that when you finish it, you feel like you want more out of it. This is the same feeling that many modern games that emphasize having larger, massive open worlds or longer periods of time can't evoke. For example, perhaps some gamers feel this more when they reach the final stage of an open world game. In recent years, there have been some fascinating AA games released that have provided gamers with an enjoyable experience. Since many of these games have made on moderate budgets, they can offset development cost with a good sale, and this seems like a good deal for customers and developer. Here we talk about titles like Ghost Runner, Viewfinder, and even some worthy AAA games like Alan Wake 2 and Psychonauts 2. These titles are games that know the details of their mechanics and use their shorter gameplay duration to provide amazing stage designs and memorable sequences. There are clever ways you can keep a player engaged in a game for hours without artificially presenting a story with uninteresting part or repetitive side quest. Hitman 3 is a good reference to state this, as its developers use the flexibility of an open-ended sandbox effect to take the player back to a set of labyrinth stage and use the new knowledge gained from previous games. You complete their objective in a different way. Roguelike titles use a procedural map designed to make their short courses playable for multiple experiences, allowing you to experience the best that the game has to offer for a longer period of time and with a new perspective. Mentioning the above does not mean that I am opposed to the titles of the open world. In a number of prominent open world games such as The Witcher 3 and Red Dead Redemption 2, there are intriguing main and minor missions that player will enjoy experiencing, and completing them won't make you feel bored. All in all, the quality of the hours you spend trying a game is more important than the quantity, and developers should pay attention to this.